Hello there, my name is Ian, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Fans of early Tull rejoice! The 6-disc deluxe edition of Jethro Tull's double LP, Living in the Past, was announced today, bringing the iconic double album back in print and in its most complete form with some tasty extras. While the original 1972 LP edition was in many ways the very first Jethro Tull book set, this new edition brings their current surround sound series full circle. While the original album compiled the band's early singles with choice album cuts, the Life is a Long Song EP, as well as selections from the band's November 1970 Carnegie Hall performance, the new edition, Still Living in the Past, boasts vintage unreleased mixes, an expanded track list, as well as surround mixes from Steven Wilson. CD 1, subtitled Original Mixes, Remixes, Edits, and Demos, compiles original vintage mixes of many of the album's tracks, around half of which have never been issued before. Perhaps most interestingly is the vintage mix of the early version of My God, which was alluded to by Ian on the included Carnegie Hall performance, as well as the contemporary Isle of Wight show. While this early version has been released on the Aqualung boxed sets, for the first time it's presented in its original 1970 mix, which will be fascinating to hear. Discs 2 and 3 are the Steven Wilson remixes, expanded to include not only the UK and US track listing variants, but also to include many associated tracks placed within the running order. While this might be jarring to some, I actually really like the idea of expanding a vintage compilation to be a more complete picture of the pre-Thick as a Brick era. These added songs include One for John G in a AI remix, Fat Man, 17, Wondering Aloud, both UK and US versions of Teacher, as well as Lick Your Fingers Clean. Staying true to the concept of a compilation, the new Still Living in the Past almost acts like a best-of the first 4 Tull book set editions, albeit with a combination of the existing Steven Wilson mixes of some tunes with new 2025 mixes of others. In the bonus selection, on Disc 2, we have an unplugged mix of Locomotive Breath, which sounds intriguing to say the very least. Perhaps the most notable extra, however, is found on Discs 3 and 4, and that is the new Steven Wilson remix of Live at Carnegie Hall 1970. For me, this is the most enticing inclusion of this entire boxed set. Carnegie Hall 1970 has not been in print for over 10 years, and the deluxe edition of Stand Up that included it fetches fairly high prices secondhand. That mix of Carnegie Hall 70 is unfortunately not particularly good and has many audio problems, not to mention that as a surround mix it leaves much to be desired. It will be great to have a Wilson-prepared mix to join the other Tull live mixes. Personally, I've always liked Carnegie Hall's setlist better than the Tanglewood show released on the Benefit box, and I feel that with this new Wilson mix, it'll easily become the best available early years Tull performance. While previous entries in the Jethro Tull Surround Sound book set series have included the surround mixes on DVD, this time we get everything on a single Blu-ray disc, which makes me quite a happy camper. It'll be great to have all this material compiled in 5.1 surround sound, including both discs of Living in the Past plus extras, flat transfers of the UK and US track listings, as well as Live at Carnegie Hall 1970 complete. With the addition of the 4 promo videos for Witch's Promise, both UK and US versions of Teacher, and Life's a Long Song rounding out the Blu-ray, this is such a wonderful treat for when the Tull mood strikes, and I'm feeling indecisive about which book set to put on. And I know some of you are going to say, I don't need this. I have all 4 of the original Tull era box sets. This was Stand Up, Benefit, and Aqualung, and this is a lot of repeated material. And the truth is, you're right. However, I have a lot of nostalgia associated with Living in the Past personally, and for me it was one of the first Jethro Tull albums I ever heard, and I have to admit that over the years I've had the itch to play Living in the Past, but to hear it in these wonderful surround mix presentations that Steven Wilson has put together. But it's actually quite challenging to switch out the different discs and to play everything as well as play it in the original track listing order. And also, as I said before, there's really not a good presentation of Carnegie Hall 70 available. So while I can't see this necessarily appealing to casual fans, although maybe it will if you don't have the other box sets, it definitely appeals to me as a long-term fan, because I will have the urge to play Living in the Past, and I have before. So I'm actually very much looking forward to this. Still Living in the Past releases on July 11th. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my eventual review. Leave me a comment too if you're as excited to add this to your collection as I am. Until then, see you later.